Hey, we all are nearing the end of the year. Looking forward to 2023, trying to figure out what we didn't do ideal in 2022 that we want to take it to the next level. I've been speaking to investors for a long time, years, but one thing that's recently came to my attention again is that as an investor, you don't want to be an accident investor, meaning that you didn't necessarily go into acquiring a property as an investor. You got it through family lineage. You just got, willed the property, or you stepped in to help somebody out and you wanted to kind of, turn into, okay, you see these shows, you want to kind of turn into flipping properties. And so it's always a challenge when you're entered into something and you don't have a full scope of knowledge. And most importantly, even if you don't have the knowledge, then you want to have access to the knowledge. You want to have a professional in that space in order to help guide and assist you. Classic example is not the first time that this has happened, but I did a recent consultation with a seller not so long ago, and basically the house is immaculate. I mean, the quality of the renovation, the type of work that they done, the things that they pay special attention to, all of that is 100% on point in terms of what it is that they were wanting to do to the home. The challenge is that with real estate, of course, we all know or have some indication that is how you buy in terms of just going to determine typically what the end result is going to be. Now, there's other factors to it that's at play as well as this unique situation here. So I went out and looked at the house, new roof, new plumbing from the street all the way on the inside, new electrical, central heat and air added, nice flooring, kitchen is amazing. I mean, it's a smaller house, but still though, I mean, it's a really, really nice house. The challenge that this particular new investor did was that he did not do any consultation in terms of value. What I mean value is that there were no comps pulled prior to him doing a renovation, because you need to have a contrast and say, okay, listen, if I'm going to spend 100 grand, 50 grand, 25 grand, 75 grand, $200,000 on this house, if and when it's fixed up, what would the neighborhood bear in terms of cost? Now, it's not a complete new construction house, even though everything from the studs up was completely redone. But the issue is that he did not have any pricing idea at all in terms of the area value. And so when he called me out, I'm saying, listen, here's the trailing data. Here's how things are trending in this area. And also, unfortunately, you're in an area where the comps are extremely low. Not to mention, right adjacent to the driveway of the subject property is an abandoned house with broken out windows and complete dilapidation. You step out on the front porch, diagonally across the street, you have the exact same thing where a house is boarded up diagonally across the street. Is roughly about 25 houses on the street in total, 20 to 25 houses on the street in total. And of those 25, 7 to 8 of them are in complete disrepair and need immediate attention. Now, does this neighborhood not deserve to be brought back to vibrancy? No, I completely agree that it does. But as an investor, if you're going into a project and you're saying, listen, you in it to make money, in addition to potentially changing the neighborhood, but your primary objective is to make money. And if that's the case, this particular project, this particular property wasn't ideal for this prospective seller. I don't even know if we're going to become a client, because the number where I was at versus the number he needs to be at in order to be made whole is completely different. And so in the presentation, I laid out for him and his wife, like, if we would have had this conversation prior to you doing the renovation, what decision would you have made versus the decision that you did make? And, he admitted that ideally he would not have put as much money, if any, into the project had he known that the value for the area was going to be where it is. And again, because the market is consistently fluid and consistently evolving, the trailing data matters, but also too what matters is the current marketplace. And because there is still a housing shortage under a certain price point in the Memphis metropolitan area, under $150,000, under $200,000, that you do have people that's really, really looking for quality homes in those areas. The downside to that is that if I got $150,000 to spend, it is not a lot of options, not a lot of neighborhoods that's going to have the property condition ideal to what I'm looking for me and my family. Then I want to take a look at areas that may not necessarily be initially in my top zip codes in terms of where I want to live, but because I have this money available and this is a really, really nice house, am I willing to take a chance on this particular property versus others? So the upside potential is there, because other properties at this price point are not going to be in this great of a condition. The flip side to that is that if you have a single person, a small family, the ideal thing they want to look for is neighborhood integrity, perceived safety, and having vacant houses that with the windows busted out, right next door to your home is not something that you would typically want to move into on the front side. Now, with that being said, some people view things differently, so it's not a painting things with a broad brush, but as an investor, as a prospective investor, heading into 2023, you always want to do your front end due diligence. And of course, a lot of people are like, well, that goes without saying. Everybody should know this, but everybody doesn't know this. Everybody doesn't, know exactly how to go about doing this. And a lot of the shows on TV, as well as a lot of people on social media, do not give full detailed analysis. There's a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of shiny things, but in terms of fundamental tactical details, as simple as running the comps prior to doing any renovations, really prior to buying a property. You want to run the comps prior to buying a property because you want to know, if I buy this, what are my margins on, what are my projected margins? And of course, 2022 have shown us that you can start with the perfect plan in March of 2022, and by July and August, that whole plan, strategy, and stratosphere of value appreciation is off the table. So even having the best strategy is not going to make a foolproof success happen, but at the same time, not having enough knowledge most definitely is going to be a consistent deal breaker. So every prospective investor that's looking to hop into this industry in 2023, you want to make sure that you start with building an ideal team and having somebody at your disposal in order to be able to consult with, to ensure that what it is that you're expecting is within range of possibilities. Because in this case study that I'm talking about now, I'm not really sure exactly how it's going to end. I hope they're able to get as much as they can for the property that'll make them whole and make them some profit. But the likelihood, based on the data, based on what's going on the ground on this specific neighborhood, I just don't think it's going to be a high probability of that happening. But again, anything is possible, and I think having the right team assembled, having the right guidance along the way, puts you in a better position. Nothing can guarantee you success other than the fact that you're not going to always be successful. There's going to be some shortcomings and some losses along the way. But with that being said, having as much knowledge as much knowledge that can be implemented into the process, it puts you in a far better position than not having that information. Thank you for your time.